In this video, we talk about why choosing an art specialization is a great idea. A lot of artists, when they start learning to draw or paint, often have this idea that they're going to kind of master every kind of category of art, right? So they're going to kind of master character drawing and character design, vehicle drawing, vehicle design, environment drawing, environment design, environment painting, and creature design, prop design, etc., right? And all of these different categories have different nuances to them, different complexities, often different theories that you need to learn to be really good at them. And so what happens is if you generalize to such an extent, where you have this kind of overall pursuit, what happens is you learn really slowly, right? Because if you're learning creatures, for example, that requires a good understanding of creature types of anatomy. If you're learning characters, you need to learn human anatomy, right? And then, of course, there's all the considerations of subcategories of each of those things. If you're doing character design, you might be doing heavily stylized character design. You might be doing manga character design. You might be doing comic book style characters. And so then there's even different facets and theories to those subcategories of drawing, right? And so specializing becomes important because it allows you to focus, drill down, and really become good at one thing, right? And then once you're good at that one thing, to then go out and learn about the other things. And so what you'll find as well when you're doing that is that learning those other things when you've kind of got a good foundation on one thing helps you to be even better at that thing that you specialize in. Now, you can look at specialization just as, the idea of specializing as like, oh, well, Scott did this video on specialization, therefore I should pick a specialization and just stick with that because, from like kind of a hardcore theoretical perspective, there are these fundamental reasons why it's good to specialize. But specialization comes from a more subjective place as well, right? Like when I was younger and I was, pursuing art, I personally wanted to be a concept artist primarily. I don't really want to be a concept artist anymore, I don't think, but I wanted to be a concept artist. And of course, being a concept artist in the grander sense of things means, learning about everything and being able to, relatively do everything: vehicle design, environment design, character design, creature design, etc., right? And so the problem with that was that I learned really slowly because now I had to learn fundamental theories that were kind of the nuances of each of those things, right? And then painting versions of each of those things also, it's a little bit different, right? There's a lot of different things to learn. And when I finally thought it through and decided what I really wanted to do, because, I'm sure, especially, let me talk to the character designers out there, especially if you want to be a character designer, when you hear things like perspective and vehicle design, and then you try to draw a car and you've been drawing characters for a while, you start to feel a certain hatred toward industrial design. I don't think you should feel hatred, but you do definitely, I'm sure you'll relate to that feeling of like, what, you want me to draw a car or a camera or something? Like, it's a different world, right? It has its own anatomy and its own structures and its own kind of good things to do and bad things to do and ways to think about things, right? And even ways to approach the perspective of different things, right? And the camera angles and lenses of different things. And, while it's true that, on a fundamental level, drawing everything kind of follows the similar kind of rules, image construction and the way you feel about it and particular specializations can, varies from genre to genre. Drawing people has nuances, drawing environments has nuances and approaches, drawing vehicles has nuances and approaches. And I guess what I'm trying to say is there's an element of subjectivity in what you prefer to do, right? If you're really into cars, I'm sure you would really much prefer to draw cars, and you weren't so into drawing characters, you have a preference for drawing cars, right? And I guess what I'm saying is on the subjective side of it, draw what you want to draw, because when the road gets hard in your learning, it's still something you love from a fundamental place in your heart. And so, I really like characters, so I want to keep drawing characters and paint characters, and so I'm going to pursue characters. And I don't really like vehicle design. I'm speaking for myself here. I don't really like vehicle design that much. I can draw vehicle design. I've studied vehicle design and the perspectives that are used, and, drawing ellipses well and understanding the XYZ, etc., and all the vehicle anatomy, but it's not really my passion. Now, I'm going to go back to what I was saying in the beginning. Hopefully this is making sense and not sounding like crazy. But anyway, bear with me and drop comments in the description if you're totally confused at this point. But anyway, the point that I'm trying to say is that On the one hand, specialization is good for practical reasons. You can focus, you can double down, you can get good at something, and you can become a jack of all trades and master of some when you choose to specialize. Because when you specialize, you can get good at that one thing, and then you are free to go and learn vehicle design, learn creature design, etc. Right? But if you decide to be a generalist from the very beginning, your learning is a lot slower, right? Because of all the aforementioned theories and nuances to each of the different types of genres of art. And so you're going to learn slower. So there's some practical benefits to specializing. And then also, to kind of summarize what I said just now, was that there is that subjective thing too. You want to do the work that makes you happy. And hey, maybe being a generalist and being able to do everything does make you happy. But just be very sure that that's true if you're going to pursue that path. But typically, I think some of us have favorites, right? And for me, it would be character design. And so I'd say pursue your favorite thing, the thing that you love most to do. First, build your foundations, get your theoretical knowledge down, get as good as you can at that, and then, hey, go and explore what it means to be an industrial designer, what it means to be an environment designer, or a set designer, or a prop designer, or even a clothing designer, right? Go and explore those other things, and then you will find that exploring those other things actually makes you even better and more masterful at the thing that you kind of specialize in. Specialization, I think, is a very good thing. Find the thing you love from a subjective point, do the work that you love because you have that passion for it and it's going to show in your work. And then also there are those practical advantages to specializing, where you can get really good at one thing and then you can go and explore other things, and then you're already good at one thing. Rather, as a generalist though, if you're pursuing everything, you're going to learn a lot slower. There's a lot more nuance to every subcategory of stuff. And yeah, I guess that's the end of this video. Anyway, like it if you liked the video, dislike it if you utterly loathe the video. I hope you didn't loathe it, but maybe you did, so who knows, right? And yeah, subscribe, hit the bell icon, because apparently everyone says that in their YouTubes these days, so do it. It's going to notify you when I do new uploads if you hit the bell icon next to the subscribe button. Apparently, I don't know if I've even seen that there, but maybe I'm just talking too much now. Anyway, thank you for watching. Choose to specialize, rock on, do great art. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Cheers.